Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon and welcome to a Delaware chicken farm and seafood market Thursday on the Lunchbox. Getting ready for a big Mother's Day weekend, a big weekend of continued playoff action after last night's Loserville. We were in Loserville last night, and I know how Lubie is feeling, not too happy about his heat. How is one Jeff Defo DeForest feeling today on this glorious sultry Thursday? And I got to walk a life and thank God, but I'll tell you more about that later.
Yes.
But Defo, what's happening?
I'm still waving a limp biscuit here, dead wrist.
Show it to the peeps. Show how bloated.
It's so swollen. I don't even like to lift it up here, but I don't know if you can make that.
Aren't they saying you're supposed to keep it above your head and heart?
It's not easy to do, but it's unfortunate. Like I said, I had the same circumstance before. I let it go for a few weeks before I finally saw a doctor. By the time I got in to see a doctor, it had corrected itself, and there wasn't much for this guy to say. He did offer to juice me with a little cortisone. I didn't think it was really necessary at the time, so I walked on that. Came back and made another appointment with the guy to get the cortisone shot. And by the time that came around, I was fine, like 100% or so I thought. So I went out, played some more tennis, and of course, the situation immediately arose again. And I was going to go. I thought about it yesterday. I had a medication coming from a doctor I know, and it had worked before. So I tried taking some of that. It seemed to relieve the problem for at least a brief moment, but it's right back to where it was. So I'm going to pull a Mayo. I'm going to go to every clinic until I get an answer.
No, I mean, look, I don't want you to go to every clinic. I just want you to go to one clinic, all right? And you don't even have to go to the Mayo Clinic because that's all the way up in Jacksonville, the nearest one. And I get
and I thought I might have some pull there. I mean, I might be able to get right in to see somebody.
Use my name.
Yeah, drop your name. Yeah, I know Mike Mayo. They'll be laughing. Bonnie, the lovely Bonnie, recommended a place to me, and I just called there. She said they had X-ray facilities, and this is my problem: is the overall runaround and maybe wasting a lot of time.
Don't make phone calls. Show up.
So I called the place. Well, I'm glad I called because if I had shown up, they wouldn't have been able to do what supposedly they were capable of. So
all right, I can give you some suggestions off air of places.
You've probably been to every place.
I've been most of them. Yes.
Have you been to that doctor that runs a duplex in Hialeah? I mean, have you been to that guy too? Because I thought I saw one of the new shirts that you got looked like it came from the place next door.
No, the butt lift that I had was actually done at a tire shop in Allendale, not Hialeah. But
you're a tire kingdom to have a nose job. I mean, that's not a good thing.
The way I was eating yesterday, you would think, okay, so you have problems with your wrist, and I am genuinely concerned. And
I need to have somebody look at it.
It needs to be looked at. I don't know if this is a simple tendonitis thing or an aggravated tennis injury. The way, and again, my friend Scott was out there at the pizza spot yesterday. We had a good time. I hope you enjoyed.
That's not the guy that died because he didn't go to the doctor. Because he looked pretty alive to me. That guy.
Scott was there. Scott is alive. I have, unfortunately, other people in my sphere who have passed on. But one of the things,
maybe they just faked their own death so they could move on.
They didn't have any insurance policies or heirs or no. But Scott has both a brother and a nephew who are medical professionals. And Scott said he didn't like the way your legs looked a little bit swollen too. And not that Scott's a doctor, but that's why
the legs are fine, man. I mean,
he just noticed some swelling and bloating, and when things start going on in one part of the body, like just go get the blood work, get the x-rays, and I'm sure you'll be fine. I don't want to plant any negative seeds, but just it's time.
You already were reading me my last rights on the show yesterday.
What I said, sepsis.
When you called that rabbi over to the pizza spot, I thought, come on, man, it's getting a little over dramatic.
Yeah, he enjoyed the sausage too, the rabbi cheeseburger.
Exactly. He balked on that. I have to think, you had to feel that was pork for sure.
All right, so before we get into the sporse talk that'll drive all the food lovers,
don't alienate Joanne again today. Mike Mayo.
I've exhausted my sports for the day.
I know that you're kind of aggravated, and All right,
Yeah.
I'll just say a couple of things real briefly. We could dive deeper, but yeah, last night we turned into Loserville again. Both teams had a chance to finish off their second round opponents. Both teams failed. The Heat on the road, which was kind of semi expected. I listened back to the show yesterday. Defo was wrong. He was Mr. Positive, Mr. Sunshine.
I tried to do something
for it.
unusual. Yeah,
I
just
thought he was
predict a
Tony
win by both
Segreto
teams.
for a minute.
Yes.
He was like saying everybody's going to win.
Everything
It's
is
gonna be-
sunshine and light,
Yeah.
and the world is a great place to be.
And I went split down the middle, which is unusual for me because usually sometimes I go dark side. But I predicted that the Knicks would win in New York and extend the series. They did. I also thought the Panthers would just take care of business. They did not. The Leafs did play with a little bit of urgency. Both teams had numerous chances in the first period. I mean, really, I think the Panthers could have been up, 2-1, 3-1, but the biscuit did not go in the basket last night. And these things happen in hockey. And when that happens, then usually the other team tends to get that first goal. And then what happened, which is Toronto lives to fight another day, this time in their own building on Friday night. We're going to have overlapping playoff games. I was at Shenanigans last night, and this is where I wanted to go in terms of my name is Mike Mayo, and I have a eating disorder. I am a foodaholic. Okay,
You're eating this order and that order.
How is it disorder?
Problem.
I ate this order, that order, every order in the world. Can I recount what happened to me yesterday? And before I go into
picks from your the first part of the Bang Bang, the Shenanigans picks were great, but were you hiding it? Is that what it is? You're now hiding it because usually we get flooded with loads of picks when you and Dixie.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, so I did like a bang, 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 bang. Yes, I went 5 meals. It seemed like I was running some sort of like the Grand National Steeplechase.
And you're suggesting I go see somebody about my problems?
I want to do
You
a
need
last
an intervention,
bet.
Mayo. You need an intervention at this point. Where's B Mayo? I mean, have her grab you from behind and take you somewhere.
B Mayo's outside. Now,
Right.
my only okay, let's do the rundown. I'm going to do it very quickly. Okay, started a pizza spot with you guys, had some
Right.
pizza, a little bit of that great sausage appetizer, and a Peroni beer. Okay, went from there. Did a little stuff, had to pick up my daughter, but then I made my way up to Delray, where before I had a 5 o'clock like kind of happy hour business engagement with Dick Steen and somebody else from Best of Delray, and you can download it now on the App Store and Google Play. Best of Delray Beach, Best of Local. There's my plug for the day, Dick Steen. But I went from pizza spot and then to a new pizza place that opened about, 5 or 6 weeks ago in Delray on Federal Highway called Delray Pizza, owned by a pair of brothers from New Jersey. So they opened up like a good old school slice joint in a little shopping plaza there in Delray Beach. They reached out to me a few weeks ago and said, we'd appreciate if you could stop by at some point. And I just said, yeah, I'm up in Delray usually once a week or once every other week. I'd be happy to come in sometime. I went in there, I checked out the pies. They have a full array of different things. Mind you, I just come from Pizza Spot a few hours earlier.
When you did devour the
you ate a decent
greater
amount.
portion of a whole pizza.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internal regulators. Like, I don't feel full ever anymore. It's not a good thing. I might have a
Maybe you
tapeworm.
just think that. Maybe you just feel that way. You've conditioned your mind to be able to eat any amount of food.
I feel like Joey Chestnut on a rampage. I just can't stop. And so, okay.
It would have been hard to go have more pizza anytime in the ensuing 5 hours after being at the pizza spot.
But let me tell you,
There's no way you could have gone to another place inside of
Delray Pizza. I had a full Sicilian slice, which I ate there at the store, and I didn't tell them who I was. And the Sicilian was good. That had a nice, like that crusty but pillowy, thick dough. But it was good. It was a good slice of Sicilian. And then I got to go a margarita slice, which basically I ate the Sicilian. One of the guys recognized me. He goes, "Are you Mike?" Again, I said, "Yeah." And then
it might be. Who's asking?
Yeah. And he goes, "Mike Mayo." He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "I know you guys reached out to me. I usually like to be very low key. I don't like to say who I am before I come in." And then, we had a nice conversation. I took my margarita slice to go and I went into the car and like ate half of it. The crust wasn't that great, but it had a nice sauce. The margarita has they called it like a vodka sauce, a vodka marinara. I didn't detect too much of the cream in that. And the dough is a little bit it wasn't all the way there what I liked. And the undercarriage seemed a little bit undercooked. I didn't ask for a well done slice, but but the Sicilian was fine. It was a good Sicilian slice there. So meanwhile, then Dickstein calls me. We were supposed to meet somebody
But
like
wait, did they pick up the tab on the 2 slices? And when they
no,
recognized that you were Mike
this was
Mayo?
just
No?
someone
I prepaid Defo because even Mike Mayo has a shame sometimes. I paid for my slices. They recognized me afterwards, or they said they recognized me afterwards, which
Well,
is
maybe
good.
from your credit card, yeah.
Well, no, I use cash.
Oh, you're packing cash now.
Cash is king.
Yeah.
So, all right, get done with that. My phone rings. It's about 4:25. We're supposed to be up in downtown on Atlantic at 5 o'clock. It's Dickstein, and we're talking about some business. And I said, oh, he said, did you check out Del Rey Pizza yet? And I said, actually, I'm here. He goes, well, I'm at Groma, which is this little Italian pastry shop in the same
Oh,
plaza.
Jesus.
He had basically set up camp and made it his workstation for the day. And I went in there because he said he was there.
Say hello to Joe Benji. He's at Pimlico already.
Oh,
Setting
Benji.
up for the
Sick.
pizzas.
Right.
Wow.
All right.
Way
Save
to
a
go,
crab
Joe.
cake for me. Yes. And I don't even know who's in the Pimlico field, the Preakness field yet, but I know if Joe's there.
Doesn't matter. If
the
Joe's there, people are going to eat well.
They're going to be
That's a
eating
good thing,
well.
yeah.
So, okay. I go into Grelma, which is this really lovely little Italian cafe pastry shop. They also do little baked goods and sandwiches, paninis, and they also have little pizzas. But I went in there and I said, all right, I need a little shot of espresso. And then I saw in their pastry case, they had this mascarpone berry cake that I just said,
like
oh
they
my
do-
God,
what's it called?
like they do at
Tropical Acre.
Tropical Acres.
Freaking great.
But this was baked in house there by the woman. It's a husband and wife from Italy. I mean, like really proper old school baking techniques. They also make these like the biggest croissants I've ever seen. And some of them are stuffed with chocolate. Some of them have like chocolate almond. I mean, the place is freaking great. It's called Grelma, and it's also on South Federal Highway there in Boynton. Okay, so after having the 1.5 slices of pizza at Del Rey Pizza, after being at the pizza spot, then I have my just half a piece of the cake, the berry mascarpone cake with a shot of espresso. Then we move on to happy hour at this place called Vic and Angelo's in Del Rey, where I'd never been, and they're known for their happy hour because like everything on the menu and all bar drinks, if you sit in the bar area, you get half price.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunately, it goes back to my philosophical question of if you get something that's half price and it's not the greatest product in the world, is it worth it? And in this case, my answer would be no. I've never been there.
Really? You're
Was it a
dumping on this
special?
place? Wow.
Well, I don't mean to dump it. It's very popular, and I guess people love a deal. They love that half price deal. We got a fried calamari that was good. That was one of those kind of bigger, crunchier, battered.
Well, were you
calamari.
influenced at all by the fact that you should have been stuffed
Yeah, you should have been
at that
hungry.
point? And,
Because all the time, if
you
you're
would
full-
find food, as Joanne would say, repulsive at that point?
At that point, it was still
no
going
matter what
down.
it was, you could have been a Carbone and you would have rejected it
But
even
that's
for
the
free.
thing. Like Defo's right. Like if you're full and you eat a lot of the time, it doesn't. The taste still is.
I'm going to disprove that theory in a minute because, like, the calamari was fine. It was okay, but then they had this pizza that we got. It was like
This is your third.
I thought it was going to be a regular pizza. They called it a Mott Street pizza. It was like a pepperoni with like mozzarella, and they said San Marzano tomatoes. But then Dickstein, of course, wanted plain cheese, so we had half cheese and half pepperoni. But it wasn't like any pizza I'd seen. It was like one of these Roman pizzas, very thin, very soggy. Just nothing did it for me with that pizza. And I wasn't looking to eat the whole pie. I just wanted to have a bite of it and see if I liked it, and I didn't like it much at all. And it was a little bit just totally like it was almost like a flatbread. It wasn't like, and I don't mind the oval Roman type pizza, but it was just like a flatbread, and the dough didn't impress me, and the other things. Yeah, at that point, maybe I was a little bit repulsed, but I just didn't find it a great pizza. And I don't like to slam places anymore. I don't do it in writing. I won't go on Let's Eat. But people, a bonus of this show is sometimes you do get my honest opinion.
Why are you honest?
And Vic and Angelo's, it's a nice place for people who want to have a drink and maybe a happy hour bite. I wouldn't necessarily go running back there for a full meal. I did see a lot of younger couples, probably people who are, more money conscious and cost conscious, and they were going in there and they looked like they were really enjoying their pasta dishes. And some of those pasta dishes looked good. So I can't fully judge it because didn't have any pasta, just a couple of bites of calamari and a little bit of the pizza. Dickstein got this pork chop that was just looked very puny. And again, he likes to hammer it. He said, "Can you do it really like well grilled, charred on the outside, but still keep it like medium on the inside?"
Yeah.
And meanwhile, this thing was so thin. That was
Just
an
what every chef
impossibility.
wants to hear when the order comes back.
And I like.
I said to him,
Can you do something impossible and then the guy will be dissatisfied either way? Yeah,
"That's it.
I like that. Yeah.
You nailed it." But it came with some spinach and this sauce, and I took a bite of the spinach with the sauce. The sauce was like a mushroom marsala. You know what? I don't want to dump on this place. It wasn't my favorite meal. Let's just put
What was
it
the name
that
of the
way.
place again?
Vic
It's
and
Angelo's.
Angelo's on
That was-
Atlantic.
So
Okay,
it's like a
so
nicer
for
Italian. It's like nicer Italian.
yeah, I did have an excellent cocktail, and I mean, it was just a vodka and soda, but at that point, I really hit the spot.
The
And,
only thing else you could have said about it was that wine seer showed up as you were leaving. That would
I
be
don't want
it,
to say
I think.
anything, but they have gotten dinged in the past
yeah,
a couple
okay.
of times, and it's one of those places. It's very crowded. The front room looks nice. Did happen to go back to the bathroom and ran by the kitchen, and they were operating, so that's it.
All right, a negative
Every-
review.
Everybody
like that.
loves a good deal. That's the thing. You can't, if you give away that half price and all of a sudden all your $20 dishes are $10, people just come a running. So
Okay, but let me ask you, and before we move on, I know there's
Yes.
another 7 meals.
there's one last component. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, now a lot of the time, I know restaurants when they do their half off, they have a special menu with special items. So maybe that's not their normal. Is this just the normal stuff, but you get it half off, or is
This
it
is the entire menu. That's the selling point of the place. The entire menu, anything on the menu is half price from those like hours of, I think it's like 5 to 4 to 6, 4 to 7. I forget. I took a picture of it, so I'll look it up on the break and tell everybody if they want to go running for that food.
That's great prices, but then that sort of makes me sad. Like it should be great then. Like if that's their main menu and they're just hooking you up, the quality
Yeah,
of the
I don't
food
know if they reduced the portions during half an hour because again, that pork chop looked a little puny to me. So maybe when you order it from the happy hour during the happy hour, they shrink things. I don't know. It just says that 7 days a week, happy 5 p.m. at selected tables, 3 to 7 p.m. in the bar area. So we weren't seated at the bar, but at a table right next to the bar. And so we did get the half price on the whole things. It's they say every day, 7 days a week, except not available during holidays. So that's it. And they also charge a $5 sharing fee if you just get one dish between two people. So anyway, that's the happy hour at Vic and Angelo's. All right, are you ready for the pièce de résistance?
This is
How did you have time to do all of this?
This is 3 meals, right?
Well, this is a marathon. This started at noon at Pizza Spot. Delray Pizza, I was in there about 4:00. Groma, I was in there at 4:35 for my little pastry and espresso. Vic and Angelo's, we got there at about 5:15. Okay, and then concluded the meeting just a little past 7. Get in my car, go make a beeline right to Shenanigans in Dania for double playoff action. Okay, and I get there and I meet Scott, and my brother Burl also showed up for the playoff extravaganza. And they had, I tell you what, it was very heartening to see. The parking lot was completely full. It was like
Nice.
a Dolphins game. It was like a Sunday, NFL Sunday,
Nice.
where the place was packed. There was not any tables available in the main bar area where we do our show once a month with the great Pat Utter. And a lot of tables were taken in the barbecue side, and we were in the center breezeway. And those tables eventually, right after I got there, they all filled up. And that was like just as the second period in the Panther game was starting. And, it was great because it was hopping, and the kitchen also was hopping. They got the job done. All right. Somehow Scott shows up, and I veered. I got an order of wings. I got, instead of my usual black and grilled, I got.
Oh, hold that story for a second. I got to grab some water. No, I got something stuck in the wrong chute in my throat. You keep going.
I'll keep going, and I'll keep eating. I'm going to just keep eating. By the time you get back, Defo, I won't even be on dessert yet. So,
what wings did you get?
for you, I got, and in your honor, I got the lemon pepper
Yeah, maybe
garlic wings,
lemon
and
and
they
pepper.
killed. They were so good. They had that, that the juice that you could like kind of dredge the wings
Yeah,
through. It
yep.
has the little bits of the granulated garlic
Oh my god.
and the lemon and the pepper, and I don't know if it's butter, but the wings were so plump and so perfectly cooked. They were not overcooked at all. Um, Man, I was digging it. I ate 5 out of the 10 in the platter there, and then I was drinking this La Rubia beer, which is a
It's a
locally
great
produced
beer.
beer. It's a
Yeah, it's a
really
great
good
beer.
beer. And watching the games, and then the third period rolls around, and the Heat, it's still in the second half. A lot of tense moments. I guess I was stress eating, Luby. Do you stress eat at all, like last night's game, or do you just sit there
I'm
and
the
eat?
opposite. Like when I'm stressed out in life, I tend to lose weight.
Right?
Like I don't, and during my team playing a game, like I have to eat before or after. I can't eat during the game. Like during the game, and look, if they're killing them, they're up by 30. Even I can relax. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that crazy. But like when it's hanging in the balance, which last night for sure was, I can't eat. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm not an eater. Like I'm the opposite of a stress eater, whatever the heck that's called.
See, and I wasn't stressed out at all because number one, I don't really care that much about that. I mean, I'm a fan, but I'm not like a super fan like you.
Yeah,
And I also said, hey, both teams are in a playing with house money position tonight.
you said
For
that yesterday.
neither of them was it a do or die game. For the other teams, it was. So I knew it was going to be a tough road to hoe. But so I wasn't stressed out, but I was just, my expandable stomach kept expanding. It was kind of crazy. I had to feed the tapeworm. I don't know what's going on, but I had the wings, I had the beer, watching the games, and then my brother and Scott both ordered burgers, and I was like, you know what?
Your burger's great. Oh, that's
Oh,
annoying.
I had a burger a couple of days ago, last week with my daughter. I did not get a burger. I got that smoked barbecue brisket sandwich,
Oh,
and let me tell you something. That was like almost the sandwich of my dream. It was like this heaping pile of the barbecued brisket on, one of their soft Kaiser rolls. I asked for pickles, and then they serve it with these dipping sauces. They have like an au jus, and then they also had like a regular sweet barbecue sauce, and then they had like the mustard based barbecue
we
sauce.
had that yet? I don't feel like we
Yeah,
had.
I
Amazing.
think we did. The Pat usually brings them all out. Maybe you didn't miss
That
the
sounds
mustard
amazing.
sauce. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take a couple bites and take the rest home. I've eaten so much today. How can I kept going. I devoured the whole thing.
Oh my
And I ate both side dishes, which was
No.
Wait a minute,
coleslaw.
I was gone for 10 minutes. You're still talking about what you ate yesterday?
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. He actually
This
left out
is
the wings
sick.
with
Oh
top
my
I
God.
mean,
eating
so
habits.
when you tally it up at the end of
How
the
did you
day,
end up having a burger at the end of all of that? That's
no,
about
The brisket
it was a
sandwich, which I feel like is
brisket,
Oh, the
heavy
brisket
more.
sandwich, yeah.
barbecue brisket sandwich. And not only did I thought I was going to
This is
just take
after
chicken
at
breast.
least 6 slices of pizza.
So we're
Yes,
talking about probably a 5,000 calorie.
Calamari, the bakery place.
Yeah,
Sausage, pizzas, calamari, a little piece of the mascarpone berry cake, which I threw in the trunk. And
forgot about
after I got done, this is where now
This
I
is
have to say,
actually, I mean, I hope some people that are in the, psychiatric field are tuned in because, I mean, you're getting some comments about, yeah, there's a great place there. This place has a great happy hour. But we really need medical help here.
Well,
not
here's the
only
thing, and I'm
on
not
the
a
show.
mock weight, especially it's been a big deal in my family. My mother gave me crap growing up. I am very sensitive to weight and weight issues. But it does feel like the beginning of The Biggest Loser, like an episode of The Biggest Loser.
Yes.
Person tells their story, and everyone's crying, and they're crying.
I didn't
This
finish the
feels like
story
that.
yet.
I'm waiting for Richard Simmons to tap you on the shoulder from behind and say, we can
So
help
can I
you, Mike.
Can
Yeah.
I finish the story with the last like shameful, shameless?
There's more? I mean, what? You
I
went
hear
to Carvel after that?
No, so because I only had like half of the slice of that berry mascarpone cake at Grelma, I
You ate
put
the rest of it? Oh.
leftovers into my trunk, and it was just sitting in the trunk. So when I got done with the brisket sandwich and the wings and the beers at Shenanigans, before
Your brother
driving,
should have stuffed you in the trunk and taken you to the Duke.
I wouldn't fit in the trunk anymore. Dude. I opened up the
recovery
trunk.
center. Yeah.
I always keep a plastic utensil in my side door of the
Oh,
car. I
Jesus.
took out a
No.
plastic fork,
No, you should be dining while driving.
and
not
while
me.
in the parking lot, I took a couple of forkfuls of the rest of the berry mascarpone cake.
This is a
and
sad
this is
story.
where-
It really is. I mean, was that because both teams lost? You don't care about the teams.
No,
This
losing.
is where I say, my name is Michael, and I'm a foodaholic.
I can't. I
That
defend
that's
my-
stranger than a foodaholic, especially with the access that you have to high end food. But I don't know. What do the people think? I'd be curious to see some comments on that. That would be something that you did if it was your last day on Earth. You knew, people always ask if you knew it was
Felt
your
like
last
it
day,
might
what would you
be.
do?
Oh, no, man.
Like you would eat yourself to death.
And it's all about the self-sabotage there, Defo. You're self-sabotaging. You refuse to go to the doctor, even though you're on the verge of a major sepsis, and that's not a pretty ending.
Sepsis, you idiot.
And
what
then
what is sepsis exactly? Because
I don't
you're
know.
obsessed with this
You don't have
sepsis.
sepsis.
sepsis is when something goes wrong inside your body and you start having an infection internally, and it goes through your bloodstream and eventually infects your organs, and then they shut down. And it could start with something simple enough as a ruptured blood vessel or some sort of swollen
He
joint or
doesn't have
something
like
like
a,
that.
a blatant like infection like you would see in
No, it looked like he might. Hold up that paw again. That picture on Facebook concerned me and a lot of
it's
people.
swollen.
It's
It's swollen.
swollen.
Oh, definitely
Swollen.
swollen. Yeah.
Swelling is sign of infection. That could be a sign of infection. Do you
All
have any kind of slight fevers, or you feel a
No,
little
no, I
bit
feel
nauseous?
fine. Other than that, so
All right. Let's get back to my
We're focusing on you right now.
whatever you call
you,
it.
however, I mean, are much more concerned, I would imagine, to the audience there. I may die tomorrow or before then
Please
from
don't.
inattention, lack of attention to whatever it is that's ailing me, and the fact that you can't get in to see a doctor until you're already dead, which is
That's
definitely a
not true.
problem in the
These
medical
urgent
field.
cares are very efficient. It's just a matter of going to one, and that's
Well,
the
we'll
key.
see what happens. I'm going to
Just
check
like
that out today, and I'll
me,
see
I'm
if
gonna
you're right
have
about
to.
that.
I have to go to a
But
food
you
therapist.
need some kind of help. I mean, is this a
Well,
byproduct of feeling jilted by having to take the buyout at the Sun Sentinel years ago? Because you're back with them. I
no.
mean,
Those are resolved. That's all
can't
resolved.
be
I didn't
residuals
have to
from
take
the
anything. They were begging me.
psychological fallout of being
No, I don't.
divorced.
I
You're over
can't
that.
analyze it. I think it has to do with the just all general turbulence in my life now with the flood, the damage. I got to
But you're
rebuild
loving
my
that. What
house.
are you talking about?
I
Don't
didn't get the
pretend that
check
that's a
yet, Defo,
disaster.
so I'm a little bit nervous until we get the final figures.
Oh,
and
you're already spending the money. You're
so
already planning a trip to Europe.
no, I don't exactly know what happened. I don't know if I have a tapeworm. All I know is that I am going to pat myself on the back because this morning, what did I do? While you guys on that morning show, after I dropped my daughter at school, I did make it out to the beach for a walk of life. I got in about 2.5 miles. It was,
I knew it was going to be a shortened distance.
well,
But you were turning back in distance. So you're
us
maybe going to
fat
go
guys
5.5 on the turf.
Just let him do something, please.
I'm glad you did something. No,
Here-
I mean
here's-
you would have to in response to that.
here's-
That's hideous. My
Here's the
friend.
thing that concerns me. Like I used to consider myself, I was a New Yorker. I was a brisk walker. I would, get out of the subway and go walking up and down the streets of New York. Now it's like I feel like I'm walking briskly, and then these like women who are like maybe 10 to 20 years older than me, and they're like blowing by me.
Yeah,
And I'm
don't
like
let
saying,
that bother you. Don't let it bother you. They blow by me. I think I'm walking fast, and I'm not.
I have a distorted sense of my own speed. I mean, not that I'm, whatever his name,
Could be a short
Randall
stride.
Hill,
No,
or
you're walking with a
Audrey
very
Hill.
short stride.
What's his name? What's the guy's name? The Hill dude, number 10 on the Dolphins. That's it.
Oh, Tyreek Hill. I'm like,
Tyreek
what?
Hill.
Like, what
Yes,
about Benny Hill. I'm like, what are you
Benny
talking
Hill.
Aubrey
Yeah, I do
Hill.
have Benny Hill speed at this point.
I'm like, Aubrey. I'm like, what is that? The lineman?
All right, today I said I was going to fast and eat nothing but fruits and vegetables. After the walk, I did have a bowl of fat-free yogurt with some fresh
fine.
fruit.
That's a
And
good
a little
move
bit of
after
granola.
yesterday. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
You
so
That'll balance it out. That one yogurt.
do it all
Art
day.
Donovan, the great Art Donovan, the longtime lineman for the Colts, and was a terrific guy and became one of the first athletes to cross over into being somewhat of a humorist. And he used to tell the story about how these two guys that he was teammates with would eat like, a whole steer, and then they would order an iced tea and put like 2 saccharin in there. I think that's kind of what you're doing.
the guys who they order the supersized Big Macs with
Yeah.
the extra large fries and then Diet Coke, please. Yeah.
By the way, I mean, you guys were talking about this the other day. I do believe this to be true, that whoever does the ad campaign for Checkers probably has the best food photographers. You had that little seminar a couple of weeks ago where you were talking about food photography and improving your
Yes.
pictures. Whoever takes the pictures of the Checkers food, it looks great. That and Arby's are 2 places that from their ads, you would definitely think, hey, I'm going to go and try that.
Mhm.
And then Lubie has condemned Checkers. Now, if Lubie puts it down on the bottom, this is a guy that his sole desire when he was in Dallas, Texas, was to go to Del Taco.
No, it's Jack in the Box. You
Oh,
get
Jack
that
in the Box. Yeah.
worst. Del Taco's actually pretty good. It was Jack in the Box, which is the worst fast food.
It's up there, yeah, with the worst food chains that you could find anywhere in America. But yeah, I mean, definitely are one of these guys, Michael Mayo, that seems to be testing the gods of fate. Never mind
Right, but you
gambling.
don't see me eating fast food, do you? You
No,
see me
that's the
eating
thing.
slow food.
Would you ever go to a Checkers though, based on the ad? I mean, I would imagine
No.
most of the people have
I
said
went
the
there
ads
enough.
look great. They look great. Well, you already know that the place is not going to be up to your
I went there
normal
enough in my
standards.
20s when I was hideously drunk, and
Yeah.
I know, some things you do get wiser with age, and one of them is no longer go to Checkers, especially if it's after midnight. And again, if anybody they're not a sponsor. I could trash them all I want. That's garbage. It's garbage. It's hot garbage in a bag. So
Well, Defoe's right.
Looks
It's
great
right
though
out
on the ad. You're thinking, hey, I want one of those big bourbons, especially a 2-for-1, which they've been
yeah, and
doing
that rat pig you bet on Churchill Day looked great too until he finished up the track and you never heard his name.
I didn't bet on the horse. I ended up
I
putting
was the one
nothing
that
on
bet
that
on
horse.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tapit Trice? Are we talking about?
Verifying. No, you like
Verifying.
Tapit Trice. You used me to try and stave off the idea that people would think you were a shot playing loser by constantly ascribing a nod to Tapit Trice to me. But the truth was, you like that horse, Mike.
No,
See, I understand all of this stuff. I know when a host is doing something
don't
that
ascribe that to me.
he's
I didn't
afraid
have
to say
Tapit
what he really
Trice.
wants to say because he doesn't want to look like a loser.
I had Tapit Trice on a couple of my tickets because I was hedging because I had the Derby Oaks double, and he was one of the shorter prices after all the scratches. So I did load up.
Where was he? Did he ever finish the race? Where was this?
He just got off to a slow start. I think he finished 7th.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It wasn't terrible. 7 out of 18.
Non-menacing 7th. Yeah.
Oh, did you see the reverse of exact? I always like to see that in the Derby this year. Hold on one second. I'm going to call up my Derby chart. Equibase. I believe one of the two at the bottom, the second to last. I don't want to say there's a curse going on. I don't want to say there's bad voodoo, but who would the Bradar household be sticking pins and voodoo dolls?
Oh, Florent Giroux.
Florent Giroux, I believe, finished second to last on Jace's, whatever that name of the horse was. Jace's. Hamina. But let me go back to Churchill. It would have been on the 6th. Here's the Kentucky Derby chart. And the last place finisher, okay, Jace's Road was second to last. And the horse that I kind of fell in love with because Irad Ortiz, the best jockey, ended up landing on him as one of the supplemental entries. And he was named after one of my childhood landmarks, the Cyclone in Coney Island. Cyclone Mischief was last. And that was unfortunate because that was also one of Bonnie DePacio's horses. Because she is always called a mischief maker by some neighbors. So she always bets every mischief horse. And it worked out for the Kentucky Oaks because Pretty Mischievous won the Kentucky Oaks, but Cyclone Mischief finished dead last.
You're losing Joanne, man. You're losing her. If you hadn't lost her already with that discussion,
all right, I'm sorry.
Description of all of the food. I mean,
why don't I run down the full
post
list
Derby
of
minutia,
finishers?
my friend? Yeah,
Mage, Two Fills.
Who won the race before the Derby?
Angel of Empire, Disarm, Hit Show, Derma Soragakde.
Let's go through the whole card here. Yeah,
Raise Cane, Rocket. Okay, I'm gonna stop now.
You're gone, man. I mean,
you've
lost control of virtually everything. At this point.
Even
on the most lowest of degenerate show, they're not reviewing the Derby finish at this point. I mean, it's already on to the Preakness. Join Joe Beja and go on to the Preakness already.
I wish I could. You know what? If I go up there, if I got into a crab cake eating contest versus Joey Chestnut, who do you think would reign supreme?
You know what? Chestnut is a professional at doing this. The fact that you're able to even be in the category, in terms of thinking about having a competition with Chestnut is bad because, I mean, he's there to win money and, enhance his brand and stuff as many hot dogs in his face as you can. You are eating at 5 different restaurants.
I think I could give him a run for his money at this point. So
we've already seen that you can't, though. I mean, you couldn't do 6 hot dogs, which was weird.
So, yeah, I'm not a sprinter. I guess I'm a marathoner. That's what we've established when it comes to eating. And once again, Pizza Spot in Fort Lauderdale, Delray Pizza in Delray, Grelma Bakery Pastry in Delray, Vic and Angelo's in Delray, and Shenanigans in Dania Beach. That was my eating odyssey yesterday. How about them there apples, Johnny?
Why don't you finish it off at Tropical Acres or something?
Well, I want to go actually go and get a nice light piece of fish maybe for the next couple of days. And a good place for that would be Delaware Chicken
Yes.
Farm and Seafood Market. And look, we've got Mother's Day coming up, fast approaching. Maybe you haven't gotten out and gotten a reservation yet somewhere. Maybe you finally hit the realization that you're not going to get in any place that's, good or worthwhile. Although I think they do still have a few at Tropical Acres, but we'll talk about that later. But let's just say you want to take a nice, relaxing day at home with mom and you want to go in and get some fresh, great steaks or seafood, throw them on the grill, you can do that at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. You know where it is. It's at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just south of Sterling Road, across from the Seminole Classic Bingo Hall. And they are, again, open 7 days a week. They're there. Whether it's Mother's Day or Labor Day or 4th of July for all your big family outings and picnics coming up over the summer. Who can forget Memorial Day? We're going to be out there later in the month to also get ready for the summer grill season again with the people from Performance Foods and talking about some of their pork products and ribs and some other good things. That's going to be on the 25th with Memorial Day, fast approaching on the 29th at the end of the month. All kinds of great stuff you can get for your cookouts and just everyday dinners at home. Go to Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Go to DelawareChicken.com for the latest specials and daily offerings. Doug Carter, his whole crew, I mean, the managers in there, we like Gene and Jose. They take great care of people. They've been there for 50, 60 years. Longtime customers. I've been going there for 30 years. Can't ever complain about any of the quality or the value and the selection that you get there. Go check it out for yourselves and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, this is a special, request of restaurateurs, people that are managers, maitre d's, whatever. If you see Mike Mayo coming into your establishment anytime soon, give him this. Give him this. Just cut it off side, right? Turn to your staff and go,
We're
"Nothing for
cutting
this
you
guy.
off.
10 grand and that's it." Right out of casino. And we'll come back. More of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, which has turned into a real horror story in a moment.
Lunchbox orgy. That's it. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. A place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at 1 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine with a huge menu with something for everyone: seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, daily specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day, open 7 days until late, parking available on site, happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at arubabeachcafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. It's Mike Mayo with Jeff Defo DeForest and Mike Lubie Lubitz. All right, time to put last night's events in perspective. I mean, both teams have already won 3 games. Both teams only need to win 1 more. And, okay, the Knicks won 1, and now they're at 3-2 coming back here for, game 6. And, you got to feel pretty confident that hopefully the Heat can take care of business. And, the Panthers, again, they're 3/4 of the way there. The Toronto Maple Leafs have no margin for error, so they're going to, need to win 3 games in a row and come back from a 3-0 hole. I think that's only been done 5 times in the entire history of the NHL in their best of 7 series. 4 times. They're looking to become the 5th. Were the Islanders one of those teams at one point against the Capitals or something like that? Or was it the Red Sox versus the Yankees? Oh, that's baseball, not hockey. But, I'm not getting too nervous yet. But then there's the cynical, negative nabob of negativism in me that says if any team is capable of blowing a 3-0 lead, wouldn't it be your Florida Panthers? Hapless in the postseason. What do you think? Not possible. Not going to happen.
I mean, I don't know what's got into you, man. You turned this into a sports show, which we're still stunned from the tally of the other day. But my question would be this: if you were going to a Heat game, did you have the guts? And you are a little adventurous
to eat everything
the shish kebab on those carts where they sold the Fanta orange soda.
Outside the arena?
Outside the arena. I refuse to, get too heavily involved in playing rip-off arena prices at this point. So I'm eating before I go to the game. I love street stands, but I'm not sure exactly where the meat acquisition department was for these places. And then beyond that, they would have like 100 shish kebabs, kind of on the grill, and the crowd had already dissipated. Yeah. So what do they do with that? Do they come back like 2 games later with the same stuff, or do they toss everything out? What do you think, Mike?
Oh, they're going to repurpose that in some way that you might not even
What
realize.
Was that meat?
Some other truck.
You, Mr. Food Critic, should have been able to identify it.
No, those stands out there, it's usually a combination of either beef and sometimes some pork chunks, depending on, if it's
Does anybody regulate that in Miami, or is that just pretty much strictly you're on your own?
You're talking about regulation in Miami. Yeah. I don't know how that works, but
did you ever have one of those shish kebabs?
Those food stands,
remember those?
I do, but as far as the street cart food outside ballpark, games and things, the one that was always number 1 on my list was outside Fenway Park, Red Sox games.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole
those
big culture,
sausage and peppers. Those, what do they call them up there? They're not subs or grinders. I don't know. It was just those sausage and peppers sandwiches on the hoagie rolls. They're good. I always got the hot sausage. I like those. But All right, so enough of the sports. We'll see what the Panthers and
I like your arepas. I feel like they probably didn't make it.
Can you
So
blow on a arepa? Is it possible to make a
That's
contaminated arepa?
I feel like that's the safest thing, and
Yeah.
it's still.
thought you were
expensive.
asking a
Arepa,
pornographic question there yet. I don't know if you could.
When you ruin one, is what he was saying.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Double entendre. I will go for that.
Hot dog or a sausage, probably.
Imagine, we should have the Let's Eat South Florida crowd critique some of these stands and take, like
What's the
maybe
best?
of the 104,000, maybe take 10,000 people and have them sample. And,
Yeah, you know what? I'll throw out that question one
Yeah.
day. If anybody's going to these games,
Best
like
food
what's their
cart outside of
go-to?
arena.
because there's
Do-
some
I-
exotic stuff sold in Miami. I mean, it's not just your standard hot dog and maybe even you got a guy grilling burgers.
But
Or a pretzel guy.
the time I went to, the one Panther game that I went to this year, but I did not spend any money
That's
on food,
Sunrise, though.
But
That's
I
not
spent.
Miami.
They don't really have food carts.
What
They-
did I say? Did I say Miami Arena? I meant the Panthers Arena. Okay, all I did was spend $20 on a beer or Molson, but they have that like pasta stands where they pile spaghetti like in a box or a carton or something like that. And
The big thing was like the $20 thing of fried rice. I think that they had there.
they have
And
that.
that
there,
always
too.
looked appealing until you bought it. and you
Chicken
realized
fingers.
There was
My
nothing in there.
daughter, when I would go to games, when she was younger, she loved chicken fingers, chicken tenders. Whether it was a Marlins or a Dolphins game, we would do that. But hey, I put up a question apropos of absolutely nothing. But on Let's Eat. So the question is: pancakes, waffles, or French toast? Which are you?
You're throwing in
Wow.
French toast. That's tough. Then I don't understand a waffle. Like like
What does that mean? What's to understand? You ladle out the batter on the waffle iron and you just throw it down.
people. Okay, maybe I'm talking to the do, but are there people that like them? Like
Yes.
waffles, fine, but I've never been like, oh my god, I need a waffle. Like a pancake once in a while, I get a feeling for a pancake. French toast, same thing. A waffle, like I'll eat it if it's there, but I'm never like, I don't know if I've ever ordered a waffle. Like
Have you
Only
ever
if
been
you're
to
at a
Waffle
continental
House?
breakfast, in a hotel,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they have the waffle machine.
Waffle House.
That's
You go to
always good.
Waffle House, you get a waffle, you
No,
get
I
some of
don't.
the pork chops. Actually, I usually get eggs and the
Waffles
at
are great.
Waffle
All three of the above, I would say, Mike Mayo.
All
I mean,
three.
you can't go wrong if you can afford
waffle.
the caloric intake and the heft that it's going to create around your waistline. All three are fine.
To me, I would think, it's a texture issue again because
Yeah, I don't like the
waffle is got the crunch. You do a waffle, it comes out crispy and crunchy. And it's also all about the crevices. You got crevices. That means you're going to, your butter that melts, it comes into little ponds along with the syrup that you pour in. So you get these little pockets.
You
of
really are
stuff.
starting to sound like a sick man.
Because I'm drooling.
Starting. You've been calling me a strange cat for years. It's true.
Oh, I mean, but I didn't realize the levels and the depths that this actually addressed.
So waffle-
I mean, you're a sick cat. There's no question, but we all are in some
I
ways.
think that's what it is.
Try
Because
to break it down for the man. Okay, waffles are crunch and crevices. Pancakes are soft and fluffy, stacked high like a pillow, like some of those beds that you get at these 5-star resorts. You could lay your head down on a stack of pancakes. I might be doing that.
If you toss that out in an article and Gretchen was editing still, your copy, that would have made that wouldn't have made it off the cutting room floor. There's no way.
I don't know. And then my third thing is French toast is kind of in between because you get
French
that
toast can be
crunch-
great. It depends where you get it and how it's made. Yeah.
crunch on the exterior, but inside you kind of get that. What's the texture is like a custardy texture where
Yes,
the
there
you
bread
go.
gets a little bit
Bread,
softer.
egg.
So
Depends on the bread, my friend.
you put a gun to my head. You give me a good challah French toast.
Oh yeah, I mean that's rough. That's hard to.
The
freaking-
bimini bread from Aruba.
With
That's what
bimini
you need to
bread
use
from
for
Aruba.
French toast. Yeah.
But that's a pretty strong contender because for me, I like my crunch, but I don't know if I want all the crunch. And waffles, all the crevices it gets. a
But
little
you're
too much.
strange. I mean, you were suggesting that Brian put pretzels in the ice cream, which was fantastic
That's not horrible.
because
suggestion.
you have to have something. Why didn't you just put Triscuits in there?
I was-
Yeah.
giving a tasting note. I just
Rice
thought
checks,
No
wheat
problem.
checks.
fine. That ice cream was great on its own.
Yes, it was fine.
Did you see the mother of all time softball posts on Let's Eat this morning where somebody was saying, I'm been looking for that roast pork with broccoli rabe and provolone sandwich. They used to have it at Anthony's Pronto Kitchen, which is no longer around, or it moved over to Pizza Craft because they no longer offer it at the Pronto Kitchen. Does anyone know where I could get one? And then
It's funny.
Everybody
Yes.
piled on. The Mayo.
Was it
I mean,
only
I
I put
answered
that
first.
question up under an alias. I knew you would approve it because it involved you enhancing your image. But
And we have a no self promotion rule on the Let's Eat South Florida group. I don't know if that's so. I'm not making any kind of bank or commission on every Mike Mayo sandwich sold. So
it's only a matter of time before you contractually obligate
You get a
Brian to keep an accurate count and pay you.
licensing rights, my friend. But yeah, the Mike Mayo sandwich is available there and has been kicking the Defo sandwiches ass. So
I mean, once again, false competition. It's like
Yeah.
your election claims that the election was stolen from your man Donald Trump. Which
Stop
he,
with that. I don't want
re-enhanced
to talk about
last
that.
night on,
Everybody was
CNN,
getting worked up. I was like, "Why'd you watch?" Okay, CNN. Like, I have thoughts about that.
You know
but I
what
don't
you're
wanna
going to get.
into
Yeah.
them.
You know what
now,
you're going to get.
So here's my thing with waffles, and people said it. You're not wrong. Like everyone had an Eggo, at least in my era. I had no problem with them. Waffles are
Like,
fine.
my ego.
I'm not anti-waffle or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that what's great about a waffle is the crisp. But the minute you put anything on it, the
Gets
crisp
so
goes
soggy,
away.
right?
So then,
Unless it's a really good, bigger, like well-constructed waffle, and
It's a
chicken and
surprise.
waffles became the big thing, and Roscoe's in LA, and now it's all over.
That
like,
I don't see as much.
I
as,
don't like
just
it. I
having a
like it
regular waffle.
separate.
Yeah.
I want the chicken. I want the waffle.
Put some strawberries on there, some blueberries, some
Okay.
syrup.
Yeah.
It's
butter.
a nice thing. I like, and you said it. The crevice is a pain in the butt. Like getting the butter on it, and it's sometimes I don't know. I'm not a huge, as you can tell by now, I'm not a huge waffle fan. I've never actually.
Yeah. What do we think about chocolate chips as like a topping in
Pancakes.
in pancakes? My daughter loves
It's all right,
chocolate chip
yeah.
pancakes.
Whatever
And,
makes you happy when it comes to a
Okay,
pancake.
that's
yeah.
it. All right.
Blueberry,
Well,
I like
all right.
blueberry.
So again, a gun to your head, one answer only. Your answer, Lubie, is
If it's challah French toast and challah French toast, of those
French
three,
toast is the answer.
then I would say
Defo.
blueberry pancakes.
You're waffling. Don't waffle. I want one answer.
Oh, then challah French toast. Yeah, if you're
Okay,
doing
that's
challah French toast, one of these fancier French toasts, they're friggin' amazing. It's like a dessert.
Well, we served a French toast at the Source restaurant that I worked at for a little while, many years ago, like 50 years ago, and it was great. They had a special kind of a real healthy bread that had raisins in it and all kinds of stuff, and it was a very popular order. Would have eclipsed any of the pancakes they made. And I believe they did have waffles, but the French toast was a big hit. So, I
So
like the
that's
French
your
toast.
answer. So right now it's 2-0 in favor of French
Well, because you
toast.
throw out French toast, usually people do waffles or pancakes. If you're throwing in French toast, like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
wow.
Well, you know me. I like to throw in curveballs.
You do.
But
Yeah,
pancakes, I like my man Keith down the block. We've done a show at Bake Shack there
they
in
do great
Dania.
stuff
He
there.
makes really good pancakes.
Oh, he had some great pancakes.
Yeah, we
Um,
love their pancakes. Yeah.
So when I do blueberry pancakes from him, my mom
That's
used to
good.
eat
But
them
I want an
every week.
equal number of blueberries in
Yeah, that's
every
the problem.
pancake.
Of
They
course you
chintz
do.
it.
Yes,
They
of
chintz the
course you do.
blueberries. That's my only problem with a blueberry pancake.
Well, it's again, they could do chocolate chips. I like the
They
chocolate
chintz
chips.
that too. It's like
So my answer might be pancakes, but it also might be French toast if it's a good French
There you
toast. So.
Okay,
You're-
so you have no
well,
idea. That went well. I mean,
Well, no. Well, it's me, so it would be all three. It would be.
I would take any of the three. Yeah, they're all fine. All
and
right,
then I would go back and eat them again and again. Hey, Tropical Acres. We're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
Mother's Day.
they don't have French
and
toast, but they're
They
great.
still have availability earlier in the day. So if you want to have a nice earlier Sunday supper with mom, then Tropical Acres is your spot. And Jack Studiali and his family, they're going to be serving with pleasure this Sunday from 1 to 8 p.m. And again, they're not usually open on Sundays, but they're going to have their special holiday menu for mom, including their old favorites like the prime rib and the filet mignon. They might have a holiday ham special on there as well, along with some seafood stuff, because it's that time of year where it's getting a little bit hotter and people want to go on the lighter side with a nice piece of fish, maybe some scallops or lobster tails. Pretty soon it's going to be time for the twin lobster special, the whole steamed Maine lobsters. And when that comes around, it is a cause for celebration and, again, a cause to immediately go in there to 2500 Griffin Road If you want to see if you still can get a reservation for the early side of Mother's Day, call 954-989-2500, 954-989-2500. Tell them that you're a listener of the Lunchbox Show, and they might treat you extra special and kind. But they treat everybody like a VIP there. And again, you're going to have the things like the happy hour in the bar with the half-price drinks and good light bites every weekday from Monday through Friday from 4:30 to 6:30 in the bar. They also have the half price wine on Monday and Tuesday. Too late for that this week. But they also have the loyalty reward club card. For every 12 entrees you buy, you get the 13th one for free. Go into Tropical Acres and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All right, we'll come back and say goodbye on this edition of the Lunchbox. And we may be saying goodbye to Mike Mayo if he continues to eat like this. So more of that in a moment.
Going to have a last longer bet, my friend. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Back here on the Lunchbox, I just remembered something, and it's a little bit alarming, and it plays into this whole overeating thing. But one of the items that I lost in my flood, and I forgot to put on my damaged or destroyed contents list, was my digital scale, gentlemen. So I have not been on the scale in 4 weeks.
Don't weigh yourself at Publix. They deliberately calibrate the scale down 10 pounds so you'll buy more food.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm going to my nearest Publix and going to do
It's like a Don
right
King
now.
weigh-in, man, where Don has his foot on the scale as Canelo gets up there.
And I forgot to put it on my list. I just sent it to my adjuster, getting all the damaged and destroyed contents together.
I'll lend you my scale if you want to get on there.
I need to buy a new one, but I'm entitled to get that.
Those things are too accurate, though. That's the problem with those scales.
Love the digital scale.
So, you can't calibrate it yourself so that you can set it so it's always 4 pounds lighter or
it's
something.
set at Lutarski numbers 0.0. And
you get on it, and the number comes up the same no matter where you put the scale. That's the problem.
Even if you lean on the little,
you're holding on to the towel bar in the bathroom, and it still comes up the same weight. It's amazing.
Hey, we got to get out of here real quick. What is everybody doing for Mother's Day again? I forgot. You don't do anything, right, Defo?
I don't know if there's going to be a celebration. I mean, there could be on the my son's wife's mother's side. I mean, she might do something, and of course, obviously Kelly DeForest is a mother of 2 fine young boys. But outside of that, probably nothing this year. I would say my mom passed away. This will be my second Mother's Day without her, and so I'll do something. I'll commemorate her great life by hoisting a few somewhere.
and also probably
Had some
gambling.
track
No, she would not approve of that. And it's a Sunday, so that's usually a day that I, go to the beach or
because
something
they have
instead.
rest.
Okay. And Lubie, you got any Mother's Day
We are
plans?
doing. We usually do brunch with my wife's family in honor of her mother and her grandmother.
Where at home cooked brunch or?
We used to go to places, but again, it's Thursday, and I don't think we made any reservations. So we'll probably do some kind of a home cooked thing. I think they just got back into town from Morocco, so we made no plans because they're horrendous at making plans. We will also then go in the evening to either my sister or my parents' house, and then do something to celebrate my sister, the mother, and my mother, the mother, and grandmother.
Well, I just want to make a suggestion. If you want to take mom to a nice brunch in someplace different, we got Joe B. over at 10 Palms.
Honestly.
Even though Joe B is now up in Baltimore, his staff is ready for their Mother's Day brunch at 10 Palms. We're going to be at Gulfstream tomorrow. We'll be talking more about the 10 Palms Mother's Day brunch. I know they still have availability there, so it might make for a nice change of pace. And I think it's going to be $65 instead of the standard usual $50, but it's worth it. Mom is worth a little bit extra. It's going to be one of their enhanced buffets. Also, for more options, go to the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group page, and pinned to the very top is a thread where there's all kinds of different restaurants that posted their specials and Mother's Day offerings and hours and whatnot, along with the South Florida Sun Sentinel also had a piece, a roundup of Mother's Day options out there. So good luck to you at this stage of the game. I've already got my reservation secured for my daughter and Michelle. Runway 84. Looking forward to get back and eating the remaining parts of the menu that I haven't, or maybe I might eat the entire menu this time, Defo, because the tapeworm, it just keeps chomping away. I don't know what's happening. I might have to go get a little bit of lunch right now, but I'll let you go to the urgent care.
Let's see what happens with that.
You best post it, please.
Connie's going to pick
luck.
me up. She's doing an intervention here, but I think we need to send her to your house.
I don't know. Bring it to you.
She's like Florence Nightingale, man. She's out there to save somebody today. It may as well be.
What is she going to do for me? Is she going to sew my stomach?
No,
shut
she's going to keep you from going to get lunch. I mean, you really need to fast the rest of the day. Try that.
Like a young
Just because you crawled 2 miles this morning doesn't mean that you're off the hook, man.
No, I got work.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow out there at Gulfstream.
Enjoy every sandwich.
Get that racing form, yes.